Welcome back, NFL fans. We are back and we are live. Remember, no timeouts, no excuses. This is the No Huddle. Last week, I wasn't here because I was standing in the middle of the 2026 NFL Draft. Feeling every pick, every reaction, every moment live. And tonight, you're going to get some of the highlights from the trip, and you're getting what it felt exactly like to try and be there. So, without further ado, let's get this started. What is up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm finally back home. I'm finally on a live by myself again. I know I went on Sunday night, but this is back on my regular schedule. I'm finally back and feeling good. Still a little sore from the week before. So I'm just going to say this. The whole draft experience, the TV just doesn't do it justice. Like when you watch it on TV, there's nothing like when you finally do get to go there. There's nothing like actually being there. You know, the noise, the tension, the fans yelling, booing, cheering. I mean, the Boo and Goodell thing. That's the first time I've been in the vicinity of where he's been like that. And you hear it on TV. That ain't nothing. I don't know if they pump the volume in on the TV when they come up and they stop booing him. But, man, to be there in person and listen to them boo him, holy crap, it was great. It was just awesome. I jumped in on it too, obviously. In that feeling of like, especially being, a Raider fan, but I'm sure it was the same feeling for any fan in the NFL. When your team's on the clock and you're waiting to hear or see it on the board that the pick is in. And now it's like, I just want to hear it. Just tell me who it is. You want to be excited. You hope it's a good pick. You hope your team doesn't let you down. So there's all that tension built up in that depending on what round it is, how long it takes for your pick to come up, Like we're sitting there waiting for that second round pick, and I'm watching the board. I got my phone ready. I'm filming it. And all of a sudden I see us jump from 36 to 38, and the other guys with me, like Severe, 805, and Chris, they didn't notice it. And I'm like, we just moved back. We just traded out. And they're like, we traded out? I said, yeah, we jumped back to 36. Houston's jumping up now. Houston's picking. So like none of us were expecting that, obviously. We were hoping it was going to happen. Were we happy with the pick? In the moment, no. But that's another story. We'll get to that a little bit. So watching the fans themselves get excited for their team was pretty damn cool too. Like the Jets fans always show up to the draft in force. There's always a shit ton of Jets fans. And no matter where it is, they're always there and they're always hating on their pick, no matter what it is for some reason. But I didn't really hear them like bitching too much this year. I think they were kind of happy with the way that they pulled this draft off. I mean, shit, they got 3 first-round picks. I mean, how can you be upset about that? You know, so the energy at the draft is so different. You know, like when you go to a Raiders game or any team's football game, it's your team you're cheering on versus the team you're playing. And that's it. There's usually only two style jerseys in the stadium: your team and the opposing team. When you go to something like this, there's fans from all over there. You know, it's just a cool thing to see all these different fans from all these different teams and to interact with them and to, really see what their mindset is with their team, because not everybody thinks like we do as Raider fans. We think a different way than some other fans do about their team. You know, some are always happy with what they do. Some are always pissed off. Like, I'd be miserable if I was a Cleveland Browns fan or a Jets fan. You know, so it was definitely exciting and different. Something I'd never done before. And I'm already planning on going next year to DC for the draft. I'm hooked on it now. It's almost like a drug now. I can't wait for the draft next year. I don't want to wish the football season away, but I can't wait to do it again. You know, a lot of walking. It was a shit ton of walking. I don't know if the layout was the best for what they had set up, but hey, we made do. We made it through it. So just to kind of give you an idea on how the setup was at the draft itself. So I'm going to put some photos up here real quick. I got to remove that first. Hold on. Let me put this up. There we go. That's when you first walk into the draft area. So obviously you see the big half dome. That's where the stage was. The building behind that obviously is Acrisure Stadium, the Steelers Stadium. So this massive parking lot is where all the people were. So on Thursday, they set a record for like 306,000. So I was part of that record. So that was pretty cool. Dawn and I were both in there. So we counted on those numbers. One of the other, now just to give you a better idea, when you look at it from here, this is a top from, I thought we were on Mount Washington, but we were on Duquesne, I think it's called. So we're on the other side of the river. We're 2 rivers away, basically, because there's a fork right over here to the right of the screen. But you're looking down on that parking lot where you were standing and watching the draft. So you can see the half dome in right next to the stadium. This was before day 2 started. It was already open. You could already go in there, but we were at the top of that mountain. We went to a pub up there. And then when we came back, I took another picture. At least I thought I did. That parking lot was already packed for day 2. And that's when 805 texted me and says, hey, we're sitting inside the stadium. I'm like, sounds good. I'm on the way. You know, we sat in the stadium for day 2 and watched it from there. And again, these are just more pictures of the amount of fans. Now, this is day 1. And look how packed. Now, the stage is way off to the left of this picture. And this stretches all the way to the far, far right. How far that goes back is another one. This is pretty much where we stood for most of the first round, because Dawn and I tried getting through the crowd to get up close, and it was just too much. Pittsburgh Fire and EMS, they had one of the medical carts that you could see the NFL roll out on the field for an injured player. They had a couple of those rolling around, and one was trying to get through the crowd the same time we were. Those guys were nonstop all day long. They were constantly packaging up patients and taking them out of there, whether it was heat stroke, heat exhaustion, fell down because they were shit-faced and made fools of themselves. So those guys, give them all the credit in the world. I mean, I've been there, done that, but not to this scale. This is insane, the logistics that it took for them to probably do that. So when I saw us trying to get through that, I turned around, looked at it, I said, let's just go back. I'm not fighting this crowd. And it was hot as hell, too. So it was different. It was definitely a fun experience. And the other bonus out of this, you know what? Let me do this first. Let me check in with the chat here. Let me see who's here. Because as we all know, chat lives matter. And don't forget, when you come in, hit that sub, hit the notifications, hit the like on this show tonight. And if you haven't yet, I just dropped a quick short video from my visit to the Hall of Fame with my wife and I, which I'm not going to play it here, but you can go check it out. I literally just put it up like 20 minutes ago. But we are going to cover some of the Hall of Fame stuff too, real quick. So Robert Pena's in the house. Tanner Jack's here. My buddy Bueno's here. Mascot Troy's in the house. And it's funny that I see him in here because I had this put up. I had this saved, so I was going to make sure I put this up. That's the gentleman that's in the chat right now. That's him and I at the poker tournament on Wednesday night in Pittsburgh at Cupcas 2 Cafe. So they had a poker tournament that was for super fans, and it was invite only. And as you know, Baron Raider, Levi Schmidt, he was one of the representatives from the Raiders that was there. And I was there to kind of support him for that and everything. And I got to meet with Troy and talk to him. We talked for quite a bit, him and I. So I didn't know prior to that he had already been following me. So that was kind of cool to have him sit there and talk to me about it and everything. That was pretty wild. So, I mean, I got to meet so many different fans there. And I got to see people I've already met before and get to see them again. Like some I haven't seen since Philly, or some I haven't seen since the Raiders-Patriots game. So AO's in the house. What's up, my guy? Mike Guerrero's here. Rorschach's in the house. What's up, Rorschach? The draft is where every team is undefeated, every team is in first place, and every team has hope. Yes, there's a lot of hopium going on at the draft for sure with all the fans. Let's see. Just popped in to say what's up. Kind of busy right now, but I'll be back soon. Okay, thanks, brother. Marcus is here. Marcus, you should be happy. I think your team did pretty damn good in the draft, man. I know we haven't had a chance to talk since I've been back, but I think your team did a pretty damn good job this draft for sure. Let's see. Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody else? Nope, that looks like that's everybody. And speaking of that poker tournament, this was the inside. So, I mean, as you can see, you got a Green Bay Packer there. I think that was a Cleveland Brown. You had the fan of the year was there, a representative from the Chiefs. There was the Chiefs fans that were they were annoying because all they did was kept yelling. It was driving me nuts. Kept doing oh, about them Chiefs. I'm like, whatever. What's up, yeah? What's up, man, brother? Thank you for coming in here. So yeah, so I mean, I met some really, some really cool people I never thought I'd get the chance to meet. The interaction there is absolutely awesome. Again, meeting all these different super fans, people you've seen on TV. I mean, literally, if you're watching a game, say in Detroit, and somebody you see on Detroit, all of a sudden that person's there at the draft with you, Now, here's a better picture. Let me pull this one up. This is a much better picture from the inside, too, at the draft. I mean, you could just see, and this was way before, this maybe about an hour before the draft started, and it got even worse than that. I mean, the crowd was all the way up past these white pocket lines. It was nuts to butts for most of that in there. It was just packed. You can't imagine how they can fit that many people in such a small space, but it's incredible that they can. Get that down. I got a couple more here, too, that I want to bring up. You can only fit so many at one shot in here. This one here. Here we go. Now, this is day 2. This is when we were sitting actually inside the stadium watching the draft from there, which was a little bit better because we weren't standing up, and it was hot as hell on Thursday and Friday. I shouldn't say hot as hell. It was hotter than usual, I guess. It was in the mid-80s, but the shade, there was like hardly any clouds. So it didn't really give you much break from the sun. And, of course, our team colors are black, just like the Steelers. And, first of all, there were a shit ton of Steeler fans there, which is understandable. It's their home city. But, wearing black in that heat and everything, it made it so much more worse. It made it so much worse. But, let me see. Who else just popped in here? Alex is here. What's up? IE Raider Mike is here. What's going on? So we're going to get into a little bit about, how everything went. But the other thing I wanted to do real quick, I just wanted to talk about the transition from Saturday. We never had ambition to actually go to the draft on day 3. We had already, from the time we started, definitely planning on going. The plan was to go to the Hall of Fame on Saturday. So we did. and that's what my short video was. It's all the busts, and then I did like a I did like a walk by of all the busts that were on the wall, and then as we were going through them individually, looking at them, I was taking pictures of every single Raider that was there, and then players that meant something to me. Like historically, like I made sure I got Walter Payton. I got Jim Brown. I got all those like mainstay, big historical type players. The only downside was when we were walking around. Like if you watch the video, you'll see as I'm going by the bus, there were signs up where the bus should be that said "bust out" at the. It was on site at the draft. So I didn't know that there were busts at the draft. If I would have known, I would have gone there purposely while we were there to get a couple of pictures because there were two Raiders I couldn't get pictures of. One was Fred Biletnikoff, and the other one was George Blanda. I couldn't get those because they were both at the draft because they were having a special thing at the draft where any player that was from Western Pennsylvania that played in the NFL and was in the Hall of Fame, they brought the bus to the Hall of Fame, which is why Matt Millen was up there presenting for us. So all the players that came up to present, or not present, but to read off the draft picks, they were all Western Pennsylvania natives. So that's why Matt Millen was there for us specifically this year. But it was still cool, even though we weren't there. But the lady that was at the hall, she was very nice. And the pictures just came in today. So that's why you will see the pictures of Biletnikoff and Blanda in that video because my wife got them about 2 hours ago, and I was in the process of working it and putting the video together, and she sent them over to me. So that's why they're in there. They weren't in there originally. I had taken just a picture of the sign and then their name tag that were on the shelf. So I'm like, oh, that's the best I'm going to be able to do until the pictures come in. But luckily they came in. That's why I haven't done that video yet. So I was kind of waiting on it. Let's see who else is here. Daniel Berry's in the house. What's up, Daniel Berry? Silver Smoke, what's going on, my guy? Let's see. So the Hall of Fame, this is the first time going. This was like a double bucket list for me. Never been to the draft before. Never been to the Hall of Fame. So I was able to scratch 2 off my list altogether. Never been to Pittsburgh before, so that's another one. It's another city that I never went to. But the Hall of Fame, if you're ever in the area and you get the chance to go, do it. It's a once in a lifetime type thing. It's not something that I would go specifically for that unless I plan on going to like the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for someone specific. Other than that, I can't see myself getting back there unless I'm in that area. Like if I go to a Cleveland game, maybe, because it's not that far. But it is definitely worth the admission to go and the drive to get there if you're close enough. It was an hour and like 30 minutes roughly from the hotel to the Hall of Fame. Hold on. Sorry. It's just funny to think when you look at this picture here of this building, that years ago, that's where they used to do the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It was right there. But now it's gotten so big and now it's more commercialized because it's on, it's on TV more, the bigger networks got involved. So they had to move it, and obvious was into the stadium, which you can see the tower next to the building. That's one of the light towers for the stadium because the stadium is literally right on the side of that building. But if you ever go there, you're gonna go. You have to. When I turned the corner and first saw the wall of all the busts, that's when it kind of hit me. I was kind of like almost a little bit emotional because it's like something I never got to do before, and I was so excited to finally be here, and then to actually see it, and then see players that meant something to me. Players that I saw playing when I was a young kid. Like Upshaw, Art Shell. The Madden's bust. I even took pictures of can't remember the guy's name, but he was from the Providence Steamrollers, one of the first, or one of the not original, but one of the old NFL teams. They were formed in 1923, and then 2 years later they won the championship. They have they have a succinct record where they are the only team to win a championship that is no longer in the league. Because after they won the championship, like 5 years later, they disbanded. Well, they moved. I think they disbanded is what it was. But they had a big banner up there for the Providence Steamrollers. It was pretty cool. So it was different to see that, the history, and to just, see all these things that you've seen in games before, like the old game films. So it's an experience, and they have this on the outside, which is the class that's going in this year. You got Drew Brees, Roger Craig, Fitzgerald, Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. So it was pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, their gift shop in there, holy shit, it's huge. That's where I got this hat. The wife bought it for me. So I got this hat, and it's even got where is it, right there? Came with the NFL draft pin. So, but it was, it's definitely an experience, and it's definitely something I would, if you ever get the opportunity to definitely do it. I'm so glad we went to this draft, But let me just get rid of these. I don't need those anymore. Let's see who's in here. What's up, Hobo? I see you in here. Jeff, tell them your name in German. I have no idea what it is. Rookie minicamp started today, and I'm beyond stoked for the future of our team, especially Mendoza, Stoops, and McCoy. It seems like an emotional event as soon as you pull up, and especially when you go inside. Yeah, it definitely is. For me, it was. I don't know if everybody would have that same feeling, but when I walked in there, not so much when I first walked in, it's just when you first turn that corner and you see the faces of history is what it is. You see the guys that pioneered this league, that made it to what it is now. You see players that you followed as a kid that are just, they're icons. I even took a picture of John Hanna, offensive lineman for the Patriots, because, if anybody knows anything about him, he's one of the best offensive linemen to ever play this game. The guy was phenomenal. His brother Charlie played for the Raiders back in the day, too. I got Michael Strahan, obviously Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana, Steve Smith, and Peyton Manning. I took pictures of all those guys because I'm like, these are the greats. Whether you like them or not, it's still historical. It's still awesome to see. So I ordered my draft hat that arrived a week after the draft. Yeah, it's figures, right? What's up, Taz? What's going on, my guy? What else did I have here? What is? Oh, I know what I got to bring up. I don't know if I brought this up the other day on the other show I had. Let me see. Did I pull this one in? Yeah, here it is. This is the one I want. Hang on. I don't know if I showed you. Oh, God damn it. There it is. Obviously, that's me. That's Chris from Protect the Shield. That's 805 and then Severe. So the four of us hung around during the first round, and then the second round, we were all inside the stadium. So it was pretty cool because I'd never met them before. I've just always obviously seen, talk to them in their chat or in my chats on my shows. But to actually, sit down and talk with them, like 805 came in Wednesday. So he showed up at the poker tournament, and him and I were just shooting the shit, talking ball. It was cool to just sit there and talk to him face to face like that. It was a good time, and then we all hooked up on Thursday. And what's up, Tokyo Radio? What's going on, my guy? Marcus, exactly the face of history. You see their names, true legends. Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. To actually meet them in person, to sit there and talk. And the funny thing is, I know Silver Smoke said he's excited for like Stoops and everything. The funny thing is, I didn't even know who the hell the kid was. I'd never heard the name. I never picked him at any of my mock drafts. Doesn't mean that I think he's bad. I'm just saying I just never heard of him. I didn't know anything about him. When the pick came up, after we traded back in the second round, we were sitting in the stadium and they announced the name. And the three of them and myself, we all kind of looked at each other and went, Stoops? I was like, who the hell is that? They knew about him. And Dante from Gridiron Apex was sitting with us too. So he obviously knew about him too. But as the night went on and we kind of learned a little bit more, I'm like, all right, I guess it's not that bad. So it turned out a little better than we thought, I guess. But in the moment, you were like, what? I should hear the things they've been saying behind your back since the draft, Jeff. This bad. I don't care. This is a face of, hold on. This is the face of someone that doesn't care. I don't care. Oh, God. So it's definitely been an exciting past week. Like I said, I'm just so glad we did it. It was a long ride. It ended up being 12 hours to get out there on Wednesday last week, and it took us a little over 10 hours to get home. So, out of the price. It was still cheaper driving out there than flying. That's for damn sure, because the flights are ridiculously overpriced. So, all right. So let's let's kind of get into this now. Let's just kind of talk about the draft winners, and what we thought was value picks. Now, I know most of you guys in here are Raider fans, but anybody that's in here, yeah, me too, Hobo. I'm so happy I was able to do it. And again, we're already planning for next year. We're already looking at hotels for DC next year. Because we're not going to make that same mistake we made this year. We waited too long, and the hotels were ridiculously priced, and we had to stay far out of the city. We were way out of the city. So, yeah, I'm definitely that guy now. I'm going to be 56 in 20 days. So, I got all the friends I need. I don't need to impress anybody, and I'm completely 100% that I don't give a fuck guy. Not at all. I can get to DC in like 8 hours. That's a shorter ride. It's a more fun ride, too, because it's right down the East Coast. It's through all the major cities. So you got shit to look at. You should see some of the videos and pictures I took on the way out there. Dude, it was all farmlands. We drove right through Amish County. Or Amish country. It was just, it's all farms. Literally all farms. All the way. It was a better ride. It was a more scenic ride than going to Buffalo from here. Because going this way through Pennsylvania, it was all mountains and everything. Well, that's what I mean, Alex. I mean, I got all you guys and everything. I don't need any friends in real life anymore. You know what I mean? I've got everybody I need. I got my ride and dies. That's it. And that's all you guys. You know that. Sounds like Nebraska. Oh, dude, it was horrible. It was so boring. I spent most of the time playing games on my phone if I didn't have to keep an eye on where we were going on the trip. It's just, I could, looking out the window, it's like, oh, look at that. Another farm. Huh, okay. Look down at my phone. Look back up. Oh, hey, another farm with a big barn. Yay, more cows. Awesome. So, but it's a shitty ride, but what are you going to do? Buffalo was a fun trip, but man, that drive was brutal. The other downside was when we drove to Buffalo, I think it was 2008, the gas, and I had a big Ford F-150 dual tank, and the gas at that time was over $5 a gallon out here. So, and I had a big 351 in that beast, the big 5.0, and that son of a bitch guzzed gas, man. It cost me a fortune in gas for that trip. And we had to drive because I had my pickup truck loaded with all the stuff for the tailgate at the Bills game. So we had no choice but to take my truck. So it sucks. It sucks. So let me ask you this. I'm not going to put a poll up, but I want you guys to put, your respective, what did you guys give your team for a grade? Raider fans obviously put your grade in, but whoever's in here that's a fan of whatever team, put the grade in, state the name of your team, and who do you think was your best pick and who do you think was probably your worst pick? I just want to get a feel for who's in here, what they feel about how their team fared at the draft. Did they have a good draft? Are you still questioning things? Who's your best? Who's your worst pick? Or better yet, who's a surprise pick for you that you weren't expecting? See, is Iowa just flat, or are there any type of mountains? Because that's the one nice thing about driving through Pennsylvania. It's all mountainous. You just got rolling mountains and hills all over the place. You don't have that in Buffalo. It's just flat. Boring. You drive through Rochester. on the way to Buffalo, and you blink and you won't even see the city. It's like, boom, what the hell was that building? Oh, that was Rochester. What? It's sort of like driving through Providence here in Rhode Island. Hobo knows what that's like. He's been here before. He knows how small Providence is. You drive through it on 95 and you blink and you're through it. Yeah, see, Iowa's flat, so it's like driving through the desert. I've done that before too. So boring. So I mean, just right now, I mean, looking at the teams that what they drafted and you know who I think didn't just draft players, but they drafted for value. Like Philadelphia, you know, again they pulled out some great moves. They pulled up some great players. I think they had a pretty successful draft themselves. You know how this translates to them overall. You know, in the on the field remains to be seen. I mean, they're not getting any younger too, though. That's the thing. I mean, them getting Makai Lemon and pulling. I'm sorry, Troy, but pulling a rug right out from underneath Pittsburgh was pretty entertaining. Obviously, I didn't see it in the moment, but when I watched it later on, I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. He's like, why is Philadelphia calling? I'm on the phone with Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh was going to take you, but Philly pulled a fast one and jumped ahead of them and took Makai Lemon. I think that's a great pick for them. Basically, when they made that pick, all I thought of was like, well, that's the end of it. AJ Brown's gone. I mean, he's expendable now. They're just going to dump him off. Let's see. I hate the snow. Yeah, I hate the snow too. The desert with a horse with no name. I miss Wisconsin so much. Way better scenery. Coaches obviously have no confidence in our backfield. We picked 4 secondary guys for a reason. Well, we knew our secondary was in trouble. I mean, secondary, our linebackers were horrible last year. They weren't even like serviceable for the most part. So they knew what they needed to address, and they definitely did it. There's no two ways about it, you know. I don't mind the cold when it's convenient. I mean, when you're trying to set up for a tailgate in Philadelphia and you're in the middle of a goddamn blizzard, and then the game ends and you lose 30-0 or 33-0. Oh yeah, that was a fun day. No, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, getting back to like the Eagles, I think they did a hell of a job. You know, I mean, they hit the trenches again. You know, they pull out. This is the one pick that kind of shocked me with them though, was Markel Bell, a kid from Miami. He's a beast. He's a monster. He's like 6'8", 6'9". He's huge. I don't think he's that good though. I mean, I watched him at the Senior Bowl and he got this. Yeah, he's 6'9", 346. That's a big dude. You know, he kind of got rolled over at the Senior Bowl. It didn't look good. I'm shocked that he went in the 3rd round. I thought he was going to go way later than that. You know, then they got Micah Morris from Georgia, the offensive guard. You know, they picked up a defensive tackle from Nigeria. So that's their international guy, I guess. What else did they get here? They got Eli Stowers, the tight end from Vanderbilt. You know, and then they got another quarterback. You know, whether they need it or not, I don't know. But in the 5th round, they picked up Cole Payton. Texans. Now I know my boy Kenneth's not in here yet. Wayne, I'm sure he'll be in here at some point tonight. His Texans, I think, did pretty damn good. They pulled a fast one on us. We went and let me see, what's Troy say? Steelers grade B-. I'm not down with upside. I prefer plug and play dogs. Everything has to go right with upside players. Really happens. My favorite pick is 3rd. Yeah, I like that pick for sure too. I was kind of hoping we might have gotten him, but we waited. Well, we did take a lineman in the 3rd. Yeah, Duneker is going to start right away. I can't see him not. I mean, it seemed like the Steeler fans that were there were happy with that pick. And I agree with you. I'd rather have plug and play type guys, you know, which is why I know some people are going to shit all over me for it, which is why I didn't want Mendoza at number 1. I really didn't, because if we could have traded back and we could have grabbed the wide receiver, you know, if we would have gotten 2 first rounders in the 1st round of the next year for that pick, we could have gone top defensive guy at whatever number we pull off, or we could have gone offensive lineman, whether it be tackle or guard. Well, probably tackle, not guard that early. Or you could have grabbed one of the top wide receivers at that point. It's still Kirk Cousins that's going to be throwing the ball first. So if you don't give him that depth type guy like that, like a true kind of number one guy that's going to come out, like a Mekhi Lemon or Tate that went to the Texans, which I think was a huge move for them. That's what I wanted to do, because we're taking a guy that's not even going to start this year. See, we're going to have a formidable defense this year. I hope so. I'm not surprised. I forget who he went to, but he went a little bit earlier than I think he was projected to also. There were some surprising moves. Like, we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, Marcus, you taking Cornell Tate was a big move for you guys. I thought that was great. Eagles and Packers are the best drafters in the business. Eagles for sure. Jets impressed me. Eagles, they do the same thing. And the same thing with the Chiefs, too. The Chiefs, I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but I don't want to jump ahead. Next year's draft, we're going to go more. We got to go top wide receiver that's available next year. That's going to be priority. Falk was another good move for you guys for sure. I think you guys did a pretty good job with your draft. Let's see. But, with the Texans, get back to the Texans here. They take Keelan Rutledge, offensive guard from Georgia Tech, with the number one, their first round pick at number 26. But then they trade with us in the second round. They move from 38 to 36. We jump back to 36, and we gain, I think it was the 91st pick. Yeah, it was a 91. So we got two picks for the one. And they took the guy that I think everybody in Raider Nation was kind of hoping we were going to get, which was Caden McDonald. And I think because, I'm sure they knew that they were going to be looking for a defensive tackle, meaning the Raiders, when they traded with Houston. But that also tells me that the Raiders didn't feel as though they needed to go out and get a pure-fire, zero-technique guy, because supposedly we're not going to be in much of a 3-4 as we think we're going to be. We're going to be more of like a little bit of a hybrid type thing. So with that being said, with them moving Lakitasi back over to the defense and putting him on the nose tackle, that's going to kind of change things. It sounds like that's why they didn't make a big push to get him. And then instead we went with a secondary guy. We went with Stoops. But the rest of their picks, I think they did. Kamari Ramsey, they got in the 5th round. I'm surprised he went that long. I had him go way higher than that. I don't know much about the other guys. I don't know about the tight end from Michigan. Their biggest impact was definitely Rutledge and McDonald, and then even getting Kamari Ramsey as late as they did. Now, as far as the Chiefs, I think what the Chiefs did here is it's the same thing with them. They trusted their board. They didn't go into panic mode. And they just did basically they just reloaded again. It seems like they always pull horseshoes out of their ass. And the fact that they were actually able to pull off 2 first-round picks out of this. You like that? I got my balls busted a few times out there when I was saying words like when we were talking about Boston and the parties up in Boston. I said, we're going to be right on the harbor. And my wife's like, it's harbor. I said, no, I say harbor, just like everybody else does. Yeah, see, she's in the background yelling it right now. Whatever. Get back in the kitchen. Oh, that's one thing I didn't do. Shout out to my wife, Dawn. She was amazing on this entire trip. She was like my own personal promoter. Like, I didn't even have to say anything to her. Like, I'd be filming or talking to somebody and, kind of introducing myself to people. And she's walking around. She's got the stack of stickers, and she's handing out the stickers with my QR codes on them. And she's just, I can hear her. Like, I'll be taking pictures. I can hear her behind me talking to someone else, a fan from another team, telling them about this show because it's an open NFL-style show. It's not just Raider talk. It's NFL talk. So she did a wonderful job. And, and she drove all the way out, all the way back. I offered to drive. And I did not deny it. I offered to drive, and she said, no, that's good. I think I drove twice the entire time we were out there, maybe 3 times. So, yes, she is. And 805 and the guys said that they like her better than me anyway. So, whatever, guys. But that's fine. But, yeah, getting back to the Chiefs, I mean, they take Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU, when they, with their number 6 pick that they traded for. Then they come back at number 29 in the first round, and then they take Peter Woods, which had been touted as one of the premier defensive tackles that are coming out of this draft. And then they come back in the second round with the 8th pick in the second round, and they get R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. And then their last pick of the draft, they take Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback from LSU. So I think that first 3 picks were fucking solid. I hate to say it, as much as it drives me nuts. It's like, how do these guys do this? Shout out to the wifey. Thanks, Tokyo. Really appreciate that. How does this team seem to do this every year? It drives me nuts. It's like, just when you think they're down and out, and they just they resurge again. It's like, God damn it. Where are we? And then the other thing, too, not every bad draft was bad, basically, so let's be fair, basically some people were killing it, or some teams were killing it, like the Giants. I think the Giants had a pretty damn good draft. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. I don't know if there's any Giants fans in here tonight or not, but I think the Giants had a pretty damn good draft. I'm trying to get their info up here. Hang on. Here it is. They had the number 5 pick overall. They take Arvell Reese from Ohio State, the linebacker. I think that was pretty solid, obviously. And then they take the guy that I would have loved to have taken, Moaga, from Miami, the offensive tackle at number 10. And that was a trade. They made a trade. Who did they trade with that? That was from Cincinnati. That's right. So they trade away Dexter. That's right. I forgot about that. They traded away Dexter Lawrence to Cincinnati. They get the 10th overall pick from them. And they get the 10th overall pick, and then they turn around and they get that offensive tackle. So it's like, God damn, Then in the second round, they come back, they take Colton Hood. Then they get Malachi Fields in the 3rd round. I think the Giants had a hell of a draft. I really do. It's probably one of the last year's draft wasn't too bad for them. I think last year they've had some pretty decent drafts the last few years. They've grabbed some really good players. So let's see how this works out for them now. And then again they address multiple positions. I mean, look at they went linebacker, they went defense, offense, defense, offense, defense, offense, defense. Every other round. They boom, 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 boom. That's exactly how they pulled it off. So the only need that they had that they didn't really address was offensive guard. They covered all their needs. They got wide receiver, corner, defensive tackle, and offensive tackle. Their other need was offensive guard, and that's the one position they didn't fill in the draft. I don't know what their undrafted free agents are. And now we're going to go to the Titans. So Marcus Banks, if you're still in here, my guy. The Titans. Yeah, the Titans. Come on, there we go. I give them a BB plus, to be honest with you. I think on what they did, they hit every one of their needs. Their needs were edge, wide receiver, guard, running back, and linebacker, and they hit all of them. I think they did a hell of a job at this draft. Their first pick overall, number 4, they take Carnell Tate. Then they come back and they grab Keldrick Falk, the edge from at the 31st pick overall, the second of their number 1 picks, which they got in a trade also. That was the from New England through Buffalo trade. And then in the second round, they take Anthony Hill Jr., the linebacker, who I picked him quite a few times in my drafts too. And then in the 5th round, 2nd pick. So, it was a long haul, though, for you guys, unfortunately. I think you guys really could have done some serious damage if you had, a 3rd and 4th rounder. But so you guys picked in the 2nd round, and then you didn't pick again until number 2 in the 5th round. And you took Fernando Carmenoa from Arkansas, the offensive guard. So you guys covered that. And I think probably one of the better picks for you guys, too, was Singleton from Penn State, the running back. So I think you got Coogan, too. You know, you ended up getting Pat Coogan later on in the 6th round. So I thought that was a pretty damn good draft for you guys. I think Tennessee really, really hit it. See, I know I saw Money Chuck in here. What do you say? Yeah, right. They can't keep getting away with that goddamn Chiefs. Jeff, did you ever Stone with the diamonds? Yeah. Hey, Dawn, can you come here for a second? She did tell me, but I already forgot. I'll have her explain it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she actually wrote it down. I was too busy taking pictures. I saw the lady talking. I'm like, but I'll never remember it anyway.
I actually had to look it up, actually.
All right, go ahead.
So the 4 diamonds on the outside of the ring.
Which ring was this?
The second one.
So okay, so the 1980 Super Bowl.
Right. So the first one has no significance because it's your first ring.
Yeah.
So the 4 diamonds on the outside of that is for for your 4 champions. I guess there's 4 championships.
So it had to be for the 83 season then.
No. So you guys had to play 4 teams or something to get to your championship.
That would be 1980. We went as a wild card.
Right. So the 2 big diamonds in the center is because that's your second Super Bowl win.
Okay, so it is 80. Okay.
Right. And the other diamonds were just 19 just was to make it.
I thought 19 was the total number of teams they played or something. Well, games they played in that season.
It could be the number of games, but I couldn't find the 19 what the significance of the 19 was.
So it was okay. So I kind of get it.
Yeah. All right. But the two big ones was because that was your second Super Bowl win.
Okay.
So, and it's onyx because the ring itself. I think you guys are the only ones that have an onyx.
Really, everybody else went diamonds.
Well, your background is onyx. So I think all the other rings weren't onyx either.
Well, onyx is a darker color, right?
That's the black. So
yeah,
if you
so
look
that
at
would
your
make
ring,
sense then.
is your black.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the onyx was a significance as well for you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my personal historian. Yeah, Marcus, you should be happy with the team. Hopefully that answered your question, Mike Chuck, because I couldn't remember that shit. I don't know. Giants and Jets had good drafts. Honestly, the Cardinals low-key had a great draft, too, from what they had to work with. Show Deuces, what's up, my guy? Welcome in. Moval, what's up, my guy? Let's see. Ja Raider. What's up, Ja Raider? I agree 100% with the reporter saying if Tom Brady was a part owner, John Spytek would be staying in Florida. I agree. Oh, wasn't a part owner. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Who else am I missing? Dave, what's up, Dave? What's going on, my guy? That's Dave, everybody, by the way, is the guy that did the video for me for the intro and outro on this for this show. I did the music and he put the video together for me. And I sent him the file with the music and he put the whole thing together and did an outstanding job. I absolutely love that one. That's probably one of my favorites. Money Chuck said, thank you kindly, Dawn. Money Chuck. She said, okay, you're welcome. Tell her to change her name to EC Miss. No. Yeah, they're all saying thank you. What's up, Raider Ryan? Jason, what's up, my guy? What's going on? Just so everybody knows, on Sunday, I will be on live with Raider Nation Jason and Chris for Raiders. They're having me on as a guest. So I will be on Sunday. I think it's 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. I think, right, Jason? I think that's the time. Let's see. Mrs. 401 keeps saying your championships. Shouldn't she be saying our championship? Yeah, I know. See, whatever. But thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that. Yes, so I will be on with them on Sunday. So, and don't forget, tomorrow night, myself and Jason First, Raiders First Downs will be on tomorrow, 9:30 Cali time, he said. All right, so that's 12:30 my time then? Right, 9:30. Yeah, 12:30 my time. 12:30 Eastern. Tomorrow night, Jason and I will be on with Raider Nation Voices. I haven't opened up the phone lines yet, so I don't know if anybody's tried calling yet or not. Yep, someone did. Someone left a message. We'll bring it up in a few minutes. I just wanted to get through the rest of this. And then we can, I'll open up the phone line. Yeah, hey, Dave, check out my new short I just dropped today. I did the music and everything. Well, it's just lyrics. It's it was just a like a narration basically, but there is sound, there is music to it. It's from the Hall of Fame. Go check it out, man. It came out pretty good. I'm actually kind of impressed with myself. What's up, Jack? What's going on, my guy? Where were we? Still on Tennessee? Yeah. So we were on Tennessee. Yeah, I give them like a B plus. We're really kind of hovering around an A. I think. I think Tennessee had a hell of a draft. It's not flashy, but they're good fucking football players. Let's see. Yeah, and I will say this because I'm kind of surprised at some of the draft picks that were made. Did I not put that banner in? I guess I didn't. No, all right, whatever. There were some questionable, I think, draft strategies or picks. In other words, I think the biggest shock to me, who had the worst draft in your opinion? The worst overall? I still question Minnesota taking Caleb Banks so early. I mean, if it works out and he becomes a beast, then obviously it's a smart move. They didn't need to grab him that early. They could have waited. I'm telling you, I don't think he would have gone for at least another 2 rounds. I mean, they could have picked somebody at that point that one blew my mind. That one and the Rams picking Ty Simpson. It's not that it blew my mind that they took Ty Simpson. It's more so the fact that just goes to show you how loaded I think that team is, that they didn't feel they needed any other position at that point, and they took Ty Simpson then. I don't know who else would have taken him in the first round other than maybe Pittsburgh. I don't know if Pittsburgh was high on Ty Simpson. Troy, if you're still in here, I don't know if the Steelers were high on him or not. But I think that one kind of shocked me. But now, did that add validity to how good Ty Simpson is, or possibly could be, that he went at number 16 when everybody was suggesting or predicted him to go in the second round? Does that give some validity to the people that were out there saying that Ty Simpson was a better quarterback? I don't know. It's the jury's out for both quarterbacks taken in the first round, because you're not going to have a clue until, give it a season or two before you start seeing these guys. Ty Simpson's not going to play anytime soon. He went 13. Sorry, 13. Why did I think 16? Ty Simpson's not going to play anytime soon unless something happens to Stafford. I highly doubt. I think he's going to be amazing with the Rams. If he sticks with them and he turns out to be what I think he could be with that team and the talent they have on offense already, I think that kid's going to be set up for success, especially with that coaching staff. I mean, it seems like they can turn anything into gold. They got like some sort of Midas touch somehow on players. I don't get it. But I think he couldn't have gone to a better situation. I really do. I think that was a perfect spot for him. I think the Rams can really put this kid in the way to to succeed for sure. But it did seem like some teams were drafting for need and not actually like looking at it from like a value standpoint, I guess I would say. See, Ty Simpson has future superstar potential. I was amazed the Cards didn't take him. Well, I don't think the Cards would have taken him, but what, number 3 they had? I think they made the right move. I think them taking Jeremiah Love was absolutely a no-brainer. Because let's face it, they're going to be bottom of the barrel next year. They're going to have their pick of quarterbacks next year. The Jets are going to be in that same position next year. The Browns are going to be right back in that again too. I mean, shit, the Browns took another quarterback this draft. They are volatile, but I still think that they're fucking. I don't know what it is with them. What's up, Pittsburgh? What's going on, my guy? Let's see. The Rams are good even when they're on cap hell with no traffic. Yeah. Would you change your name, bro? Or is this another account? Because you were on a different one a few minutes ago. As far as who do I think had the worst draft? I don't know. I mean, I didn't. I'm looking through each team we've been going. What did Cleveland do other than they took Fano first? That was a smart move. You know what? I don't think they had a worse draft. I think Cleveland. I mean, getting two wide receivers back to back. Within the first round at pick number 24, they get Concepcion, and then in the second round at number 7 pick, they get Denzel Boston too. It's like, how I don't know how the hell they pulled that off. I don't know how nobody took either one of them. To be honest with you, I thought for sure we were going to take a wide receiver, but obviously the Raiders felt different. The 55-man roster, 45 of the Browns players and quarterbacks. It seems like it, right? Shit. Well, let me see what the Packers did. So let me do this. Before we go any further, just see, what is this? Somebody left a voicemail. I don't know who this is. No, I don't know who that is asking that. I'm not going to read it out loud. I don't have any voicemails. So, all right. So the phone lines are open. All right. Before anybody calls in, if you do, state the name, your team name, who you think was the best pick for your team, who do you think was the worst pick, give me a grade, and then we're going to move on, though. I can't stay on the phone for long with each person. I got to give everybody the opportunity to get in here because they tend to have people on hold sometimes, and then they disconnect after a while. So if you guys call, it's going to be short and sweet, kind of get to the point, and then we're going to move on. So the phone lines are officially open now. So let's back to the stage. This view. Boom. Okay. I'm sure Hobo will be the first phone call. Broncos, just because they traded all their picks for Waddle. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't even have a first round, right? When did they pick? They didn't pick till. Shit. Yeah, that's right. They didn't have a pick till the third round. What did they take? They took a defensive tackle, Tyler Odinam from Texas A&M. As far as our picks, I think the Raiders did okay. I think we did pretty damn good. My favorite is Zune. I absolutely love that because it just his versatility and what the positions multiple positions he can play on the line. He can play all 5 spots. He can play left tackle extremely well. So that gives me confidence that if something happens to Colton, that we can put him over there and have success on that left side. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. And I actually think he's going to make the starting roster right off the rip. I think he's got that kind of potential. Some don't see that. I kind of do. But, hey, we'll have to wait and see. I ain't saying the Pack had the worst draft, but could have been better. No, I think Jack's right. I think Denver did because they lost a lot of. Yeah, you got Waddle, but has anybody seen the pictures of what Bo Nix's ankle looks like after the surgery? It doesn't look good. It looks like he got mutilated. It does not look good at all. I think, John, did you send me that video or the pictures of that? I'm gonna have to look because I know someone sent it to me on Instagram. I don't know if it was you or not. Someone did. Maybe it was Nate. Hang on, I gotta find that because I saw that. I was like, God damn, it don't look good at all. Like how he's gonna come out of that, I don't know. Nope, wasn't there. Shit, some of these chats are so long that I'm not gonna be able to find it. Yeah, if anybody has it, send it to me on Instagram because I'll bring it up on the screen here. Just going to see if I can find it still. It looks like he's going to have a rough go at it. To be honest with you, it doesn't even. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring this up on safe because they have to remove that. So bring this up. Shit. All right, hang on. Shit, this tab instead. Boom. At the stage. I had to kill the phone one. Look at his ankle. Look at it. Look how it looks like it's got a funky curve to it. If can I click on it? Does it show a better picture of it? So that's what it looked like before the injury. Okay, that's what it looks like now. Look at that. And that surgery was how long ago? I don't get it. I mean, his leg looks fucked up. Even the side of his knee. Look at this, just above his knee on the inside. Look how fucked up that looks too. It just don't look right. So yeah, that's Bo Nix. All right, later, Troy. Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. It was great meeting you and seeing you last week, man. I appreciated that. Yeah, that ankle looks like crap, man. That does not look good. So what does that mean for them with their situation with quarterback going into next season? You know, so yeah, you got Waddle, but how much is that going to help if you don't have a steady quarterback? I mean, you saw what happened to him last year already when he went down and they had to deal with a backup in the playoffs. You know, yeah, they got to the AFC Championship, but the Patriots came in and beat them. If Bo Nix was playing in that game, Patriots weren't in the Super Bowl. That's all I got to say. You know. Yeah, not as bad, Hobo. I know if you ever really got a good look at Alex Smith's leg, how bad it looked after, it looked like he had chunks of his leg just shredded off of him, like he got attacked by a shark. I mean, it just looked awful, you know. And it's no wonder he didn't really play after that because that just looked horrible. I don't know if he's going to be as mobile anymore, unless it's going to be like what the hell's that movie, The Rookie, where the kid falls and breaks his arm, and then all of a sudden he's got like this elastic slingshot type arm. The same thing happens with his foot. Now he'll have like a, use that as his plant foot and take off running, and it'll propel him like an extra 15 feet forward faster than everybody. Oh my god. Let's see. Yeah, it does. It looks like he's bow-legged like a cowboy, right? That's kind of what it looks like. It just does not look good at all. Jeff, I think the Cowboys had the worst. Do you really? Let me see. Oh, you're just throwing shit out there and see if it sticks against the wall. I don't think they had a bad draft. Are you shitting me? Dude, Caleb Downs falling to number 11? That's insane. Nobody expected Caleb Downs to go that far. I mean, people were talking about him being a number 1, 2, or even 3 pick in this draft. He fell all the way to 11. That crap only happens in movies. I don't know, Jack. I've seen some crazy shit before, but I think the Cowboys had a pretty decent draft for this. I think they nailed it in the first round, to be honest with you. You know, they get Caleb Downs, who was projected as like one of the best pure athletes in this draft, at number 11 of all things. And that was, that was a trade from Miami. They got that pick. And then at number 23 in the first round from Philly, they go and get Malachi Lawrence from UCF, defensive end. You know, and then they follow it up in the third round with another edge from Michigan. Those first 3 picks, I think, were pretty good. The first 2 for sure. Third one, we'll see how that fits in there. But man, I don't know about that, man. I don't see them having a bad draft. You know, they didn't have a second rounder, but what the fuck? Who needs a second round when you got 2 firsts? You pull that off in the first round with 2 picks like that, I think that's a pretty damn good draft. Shit, man, I'd be happy if we could have done something like that. You shitting me? Like they placed an ankle monitor inside. Yeah, right. What's up, Gunsmoke? Welcome in, my guy. Welcome in. I appreciate everybody that's in here rocking out with me tonight. You know, we're 28 strong in here. Just don't forget, hit that like on the way in, get the thumbs up, make sure the notifications are on. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and make sure you guys do subscribe. I did drop a new short about an hour before about 20 minutes before I started. So make sure you guys check that out. Give that short some love. It's a Hall of Fame video is what it is, of all the busts that were in there. And it's not like me taking pictures one by one. It's a pretty fast pace. It's like 1:23 long. So it's a pretty quick paced video. Shit. What's up, Steve? What's up, man? Been busy with work and doubles in the gym. What do you think about our picks? I'm happy with the Raiders draft. I mean, what am I going to say about Mendoza? I mean, we got him. I got to stand behind him. I want, because if he doesn't succeed, we're not succeeding. So I can't get mad at that. So am I behind him 100%? Absolutely. Do I want to see him fail? No, because like I said, if he fails, we fail. So no, I want him to be successful. And not for nothing, I would actually prefer him starting right away. I want to get the best value for that number one overall pick. And if him sitting for a year, that's not getting the best value out of that pick. So the sooner he can start, the better. That's how I'm looking at it. So if he's that good, as everybody says, he should be able to beat Kirk Cousins, and he should be starting. If he's not, then why do we take him number one? That's how I'm going to look at it. You wanted him that bad? He should start day one, plain and simple. You don't take a guy number one overall and just go, we'll wait a year. I just don't get it. If he got picked later in the first round, you get a little more leniency on that. But when you're number one overall, when you could have taken some other purebred talent that really could have built this team, then this kid better be starting week one. That's all I got to say. So, but does he really have the wide receiver tools? I don't know. There's so much that's still left to be seen with what we do this year compared to last year. As far as I'm concerned, we're still the same team as last year. Nobody's going to tell me any different. Until the season starts and the players get out there and you put cleats to turf and start smacking heads and pushing guys around, nobody's going to tell me anything different about, we're way better than last year. On paper, yeah, we got better talent possibly. But until it happens, we're still a 3-15 teams, or 3-6-14, whatever, 3-win team. We're still a 3-win team from last year. Our O-line's still just as bad as last year. Our quarterback is still just everything. So right now, that's what they got to live up to. They're going to be better than what they were last year. And right now, they're not better than last year because we haven't done shit. So, yeah, we got better coaching and a staff. I definitely agree with. But again, until we see the product on the field, how that translates from all these moves we made from free agency, re-signing guys, and draft picks, no one's going to tell me anything different. I'm sorry. So I'm not looking at us to make the playoffs like some people are expecting us to make it to the playoffs. You set those expectations that high, and we don't hit that, and we finish down here somewhere, people are going to lose their shit. Because everybody's expecting this now because so-and-so's here. We got this guy. We got that guy. But if we don't make it to that and we fall down here somewhere, like if we win 3 games this year, it sucks. I don't like it. But there's growing pains, man. Growing pains. You got a whole new system these guys are going to learn. You got a whole new coaching staff. Damn near half the team's been replaced if you look at it. Look at how many players that we brought in between free agency and the draft now that are on this roster as we're speaking right now compared to what it was last year. A lot of the dead weight's gone, so this is all a whole new learning curve for everybody. The only one that's going to have a leg up on anybody right now would be Kirk Cousins because he's already played in this system. So he's going to be familiar with it. So it should be just him walking in and being okay. And just needing to learn how the players are on that roster, What's up, Q? What's going on, man? Welcome in. Let's see. Hobo said we had at least the 3rd and 4th best draft in the league. I think we had better than that. I don't know. We'll see if he starts or not. Thank you. I appreciate that. You agree with me. Yeah. And thank God Geno's going too. That's the other thing. Jesus. I don't know if we had the 3rd or 4th best. I think we had better than 3rd or 4th, to be honest with you. I mean, the number 1 pick was an obvious thing, so that automatically gives us an A because it was one of our biggest needs, obviously. But I don't know. Well, phone lines are open. You guys can call in if you want to call in and talk. Other than that, I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. We should never have gotten rid of Kappa. He was a good. You're an idiot. You're such a booth. Yeah. No, there's the phone number 401-830-9189. Toll free. If you call collect, I ain't taking it. Who the fuck calls collect anymore anyway? My mouth hurts from getting used to dentists, so I ain't calling. Oh, yeah, I'm sure your mouth hurts from that, right? Oh, here we go. Come on, answer, damn it. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you support. What the hell? Not working. What the hell? Why is it coming through on my phone instead of? Okay, why did that not work? All right, whoever that was, try and call back because I don't know why that didn't go through. It kicked over to my phone instead. You should do a joke video where you mourn Kappa's departure with tears and everything. Oh, hell no. Throw a party for that one. That and Parham. I don't miss Parham. Let's try this again. Oh, Parham. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
What up, Jeff? This is Tokyo Raider.
Who is it? You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team.
Tokyo Raider.
Oh, Tokyo Raider. I can hear me in the background. That's why it kind of threw me off. What's going on, man? What's up? I can hear me.
How much, brother? Just saying, what's up?
So, what'd you think?
I did want to say something.
No, go ahead.
I guess, the nation itself.
Go for it.
I feel like we all have like some very unrealistic expectations when it comes to our team, the draft, and where we are and where we should be, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm a realist. I don't, you know when your team is ass and you know when your team is good. And like you said, until we do more than 3 wins, that's exactly who we are. I mean, We've shown people who we are.
Yep. One person or one player is not going to change a team. And that's pretty much what everybody's expecting. And that's the downside to, any teams like that. Any team's fan base gets like that. We notice it more because we're Raider fans and, that's just the way we're geared or we're wired that, a lot of fans are just like, oh, well, we've got that guy now, so we're going to be good. Not necessarily. It doesn't always translate over that well. You hope it does. Everybody wants it to, but will it? We don't know. We won't really know, again, like this draft class until 3 years from now in the 3rd season to really give a good judgment on how good these guys are,
And that's the thing, and people don't realize that I see so many, YouTubers and people and opinions go out there and say, oh yeah, it's A, it's a B, it's an A, and it's a B, but we won't know until it actually happens. Yep. Just like with Pete Carroll and Gino, man, I never thought that was a good move. I thought that was a bad idea. And look where it got us.
Yeah, I was on board with Pete at first, but he lost me after that first preseason game. That was it for me. I saw that, and then his press conference, I was done. On Monday, I was done. I was like, this team's going to be shit this year. It's going to be garbage. When you sit there and tell me that you don't know who the starting 5 is yet for your offensive line, and it could take weeks, could take almost the whole season, I'm out. You lost me. You don't have a snap by week 1. Kiss my ass. I'm out. This team's horrible. I called it then. I said, I'm running. Our offensive line is going to be complete trash all season, and it was. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I'm glad that Robbie's taking a hold of the defense because Patrick Graham, man, that open middle that was atrocious. I mean,
and I agree. I'm kind of curious to see how this defense is with him then, with Graham going now. I wanted Graham going last year, to be honest with you. I wasn't crazy about him coming back. And when this season was over and we were looking like we were going to fire Pete Carroll, my thing was I want everybody gone. I don't want anybody left from the past regime, including Robbie Leonard at that point. But if they were willing to give him a shot at the job, then all right, then I got to be on board with it. So let's see what happens. But I didn't want anybody left. The only one that I was gonna be kind of okay with is if Philbin stayed, but other than that, they can all go. I didn't care.
So at this point, what concerns you more, our new defense or our new O-line?
As far as, what do you mean, like the players or the coaches?
Both, and just in a general spectrum, like who should we be more worried about?
I'm more worried. I would say I'm more worried about the defense because it's a first-time defensive coordinator, but he's been with the guys that are still on the roster from last year have been with Robbie Leonard for a little while. So he knows these guys like Max. I mean, it's going to give a little extra comfort level to Max, I think, too, because he's always said that he's always spoken highly of Robbie Leonard. So I think it's the fact that he's a rookie defensive coordinator, whereas if you go to the offensive side, I'm not so much worried about that side, to be honest with you, because number one, the head coach is an offensive-minded coach. So he's going to have a heavy hand on that side. And I feel better on the offensive side just because of who the offensive line coach is, because that's my biggest concern on the offense. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. I don't care about the receivers. Throw the ball, someone's going to catch it. My biggest concern is keeping everybody on their feet, meaning the running backs and the quarterback. And that starts with that front line. And if Dennison can do what he's supposed to do and as good as I think he is, or he has been in the past, which, I mean, he's one of the best ones out there. So I think him getting a hold of those offensive linemen and getting them set straight, you're going to see a better Genty, hopefully. I think Mike Washington, I think, is going to could potentially be a beast for us. I think he could be one of the hidden gems out of this draft, to be honest with you. I know McCoy will be if he plays. I'm not worried about him either. But I think Mike Washington could really do some serious damage if we can really block for him well. Because look at how many times Genty would get the ball in a handoff and he was already getting tackled, or a defender was
in the backfield.
When you got mush for offensive linemen that can't block worth the shit, how can you as a running back do your job? Granted, I know it wasn't. I'm not blaming the offensive line 100% on Genty's issues because Genty still didn't run very well either. Like you watch some of the film and you see him missing holes or that jump start thing he does, where he does that jump and then he stops and then he tries and takes off again. He doesn't have that fluidity with that. He's no Walter Payton, basically. He doesn't have that fluidness to his body, or Barry Sanders, Yeah,
his momentum gets crushed the first time he gets touched, Yeah.
But once he gets past that once he gets into the second level, he's gone, But the line was just so awful last year. So I expect great things this year from that line, hopefully, But again, until proven otherwise, we're still a shit bum offensive line.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, I don't have high expectations. I mean, it's Raider Nation till the day I die. But I will say this, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and I'll give you personal clarification. I just came back from Japan not too long ago, man, and I will tell you this because I've lived in Mexico, Central America, born in LA. Raider Nation is the world's team. I mean, I've been everywhere and I see everyone wearing Raiders gear, man.
Yeah.
I see famous Japanese artists wearing Raiders gear, hats, jerseys, locals. I mean, we're everywhere, man. We are the world's team. It's not even an America thing. It's not like a everything thing. We are the world's team. And a lot of people really don't see that.
See, I like the colors because it makes me look slimmer because it's black. Black's a slimming color. Remember that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, too. I mean, again, I know Chris and I talked about this on our shows in the past where, the Raiders weren't so widely known throughout the country until the rap hip hop culture hit in the 80s with like NWA. That's what in all honesty, that's what really spread the image of the Raiders across the country, and then international because they always had Raider gear on. So it brought attention to the team and to the logo. And therefore with that follows watching the team and just being part of that anybody that was around in the 80s, and I don't know how old you are, but anybody that was around in the 80s and watched that team during that era, you fell in love with that team with the players that we had at that time too. The
Oh man, I was wearing Raiders gear before I even knew what a football team was.
See,
my whole family out in LA. I mean, that was life.
Yep. I got another call coming in. What's up, Raider Paul?
All right, brother, man. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. Take care.
Yep.
You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Man, this is Mike, and I rep Raider Nation.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. I really just wanted to call in and get your thoughts. I might have missed it because I just got on your live. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on the draft, man. What do you think Spy Tech? How you think he did?
I think he did a hell of a job. To be honest with you, it felt like night and day compared to last year's draft. That's for sure. There was some picks that I kind of at the moment questioned. Like the Stoops one caught me because I had no idea who the hell the kid was. I didn't have any of my mocks. I never heard of him, and that's on my part. I mean, that's just me not, looking deep enough in some cases. But the more I've looked into it and the more I've heard people talk about him, it's like, okay, we got something here with this kid. I don't feel as bad now. In the moment when I was sitting in Pittsburgh and they called the name, like I said earlier, I was sitting with 805. I don't know if you know 805, Chris from Protect the Shield, and Severe. The four of us were all sitting together.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
And they called the name, and we all kind of went Stoops, like we didn't know, like who the hell was that? And but then once we started talking about it and we looked into it, I'm like, all right, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Now it's a week later, and now I'm like, okay, I get it. I love the Zoom pick. Zoom was my favorite pick. Getting Mike Washington where we did, I thought was a killer move. McCoy, where we got him, I mean that's low risk, high reward with him. I mean, we used a fifth rounder, right, for him, I think, right? I forgot.
I believe it was a fourth. Yeah.
So you think about it. So a kid that's got this potential injury, how much is it going to? Yeah, fourth round. How much is it going to impact him? You're talking about a kid that should have gone in the first round if he didn't get that injury. Because everything everybody's looking at him film-wise is from 2024 because he didn't play at all last year.
Right.
He didn't play. He didn't. So everything you're looking at is from 2024, and everybody was hoping that he's going to be that kid still. And there's a good chance that he will still be that guy. And again, it was only a fourth round pick. If you would have taken him in the first round and it went bad, then you fucked up. But when it's a fourth round, it's like that's not bad. That's a risk worth taking.
Do you remember the days of when we were taking players with his condition? I mean, I wouldn't say, but injury with an injury, what comes to mind is what's the kid that we took out of Houston? University of Houston. He was a DB. He had a heart condition. We took him in the first round.
Oh shit! Fuck. I know I can't think of the name.
I can't think of his name either. But that like when it comes to that guy, and I feel like we did it back-to-back years where we were taking guys, in the first or second round with crazy injuries.
If Afakasi was he would know the name like that too. I know he would. Because I think there was the question of because if he takes a direct hit to the chest or something, was it DJ?
Right. It might have been DJ. So I can't think of his name, man.
Well, Nutty Nate DJ.
I know he came and played. DJ exactly. Somebody in the chat probably. Yeah. Yep. DJ Hayden.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate you, brother. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, we took guys like that. This guy, man. I looked at that. I try to do as much. Looking up on that injury, it seems like you can heal. It seems like it's an 80% chance of that injury healing. It's a slight chance that he cannot play. If it goes wrong, but 80%. That's pretty. I'm no doctor or nothing, but that's pretty good.
The big thing in his favor, he's 20 years old. All right, so I think he'll be 21 by the time the season starts. I know that there's been talk about him. He could get surgery now to fully repair it. supposedly. I don't know the full ins and outs on it from what I've understood. But he would heal so fast at that age. He's going to heal faster than a 27, 28-year-old with that same injury, for sure. That's a given. That youth, the fact that he's that young, because look at it this way, too. A lot of these draft picks that just came out, a lot of these guys, this is the last COVID group, too. So a lot of these guys coming out are like, 24, 25. They're older. This kid's 20 years old. So because it's supposedly degenerative, so if they can fix it now, take the year off. I'm sure they'll hang on to him. They'll put him on the IR or whatever. Let him get the surgery. And if we got to wait a year for him, we'll wait a year for him. This year's a wash anyway. This year, you're not expected to have this killer season this year. This is like a trial and error season. That's how I'm looking at it.
Right. I mean, if we win 8 games, I'll be happy, man. If we win,
I'll be happy if we win 4. Anything more than what we did last year, I'm good. It's showing improvement.
I was one more thing I wanted to ask you about, and that was the UDA guy, man, out of Indiana, the running back, man. I didn't know. I didn't really watch Indiana like that, but after we picked him, I did my man. He seems like. And I like the guy we took in the 5th round, 4th round, Mike Washington. He seems like
I like
we're going to have a nice running back room, man. It's like if we could get that going, and with the defense that I think we're going to have, we might be a sneaky 7-8 win team.
I'm not putting numbers on it, but I agree. I like both picks. I think they're both making the team. I think Collier and Lobby, one of them's out. One of them's going to be gone. They're probably going to be.
I like Lobby. I feel like he did good on special teams.
Well, that's why I think Lobby is probably the one that sticks around. I think Collier is going to be the one that's odd man out. But I honestly think that if Genty still has the same problems and the O-line's better, and he still can't perform like we expect him to be as a number 1 pick overall, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington surpasses him at some point, whether it's this year or next year. I think it's very likely. I like the kid. I've got high hopes on him, to be honest with you. And not for nothing, Hemby was the number 1 running back in Indiana. It wasn't Kalen Black. Hemby was slated as RB1.
Right. I mean, he looks like it, and what I like about him, they say he's a good one. You can see the flashes on tape, right? But they say he's an even better in pass protection. This kid.
I'm excited for this season. I really am. But you know what? Like 805 said, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and what happens, happens. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. This is a learning curve season as far as I'm concerned, and we'll go from there. That's how I'm looking.
It's absolutely no pressure. I think us as fans, sometimes we put too much pressure on the team. It's like every year, it's like, we make a few, maybe a splash free agent, we may get somebody, and we like, it's the guy that take us over the top. Or, I really think it started with Kubiak and with Spytek and Brady. You got to establish the GM first and the coach. And then you create a foundation. I feel like the Atlanta foundation. I like what he's doing with the. Nobody has a Raider emblem on their helmet right now. I kind of like that. They're saying you got to earn that. I absolutely love that move. Yeah, to me, it's like that's something that you to establish culture and get us back to where we once was. You got to come with things like that, because we done nothing. You know what I mean? You look at a guy like Max, and I heard somebody say, "Well, what about Max Crosby? He should have an emblem." And it's like, I love Max. You know what I mean? But I think he's got to earn it too. It's not like he has a wonderful career if you're thinking about just solo stats, but it's like. He hasn't been to the big game yet. He played in 1 playoff game. That's my only thing. That's my only knock with Max.
I still wish the trade never got canceled, because I would imagine what we could have done with that 14th pick now.
Oh yeah. Did we have a third?
Looking at it now, where the draft ended, how the draft went, and you see where players went and what was still available at that number 14 pick. It's like, are you shitting me?
Could have built the trenches up a little more.
My God. What kind of damage could we have done? Because we could have moved that pick around too.
That's what I think it was. I think they got cold feet.
I mean, we could have done so much with that. That number, you know what it is? I don't think fans really realize how valuable that number 14 pick was that we were going to get from Baltimore.
It was super valuable because you could have went up or down. You could have went back up. You could have moved top 10 up with somebody. I would have gone further back, and I would have taken. I would have tried to get as much as I could for that. If as many second rounds, a late first, a first next year, you could have done so much with that pick. So much. Yeah,
especially talent that was available at that point that teams would have probably killed to move up to that spot.
Yeah, I feel like it's something in the, I don't know if it's the CBA or the whatever type of off-season rules. I would like to see them fix that. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be able to just easily be sent from a trade.
It's that legal tampering.
Yeah, I didn't like that move, or if we're gonna do that, let's make that move after legal tampering from there. That's how I think we should move, But I just like to, it was good talking to you, man.
I appreciate
I'm gonna let somebody else call. I don't want to take up too much time, man. Everybody have a blessed night.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in. That was a good call, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
You have a good night. Chewy, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Spy's the guy and Coob's the dude. I like that. And Nutty Nate, thanks for popping in, man, and thanks for hitting up with that name too, because that was going to drive me nuts the rest of the night until I looked it up. And shout out to Marcus Banks with the milestone here of 10 months as a member of my channel. I appreciate you, my man. Raider Nation, much respect and thank you. Yep. And I'm sure most people in here know that. Don't forget, Marcus Banks is not a Raiders fan. He's a Tennessee Titans fan. That's how much respect he has in this chat and in other chats in Raider Nation, because he gets in all of them. He's in all the chats, and we all love him. And it's just awesome that he's like part of the family, and he's not even a Raider fan. I absolutely love that. So thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you, brother. Pretty much one of my day one guys there. Where's Sacktown tonight? I haven't seen Sacktown. Ravens got their karma because someone backed out of a draft trade. Yeah, really, fuck them. Hope they never get another trade offer again. Robert Pena, what's going on, my guy? I think that's a deflection story. Deflection story? What's up, Kenneth? What's going on, man? Kenneth, you should be happy, man. Your Texans had a pretty damn good draft, buddy. So. Phone lines are still open. So, and I just put a reminder up here too. Anybody that hasn't gotten a membership on my channel, they start off at 99 cents. Now that we're getting past a lot of this, I'm probably going to I got to start doing some membership only stuff at some point. I tried it one night, but then Max had to go and decide that he wanted to get traded. Baltimore decided they didn't want to go through the trade. I was in the middle of a members only show. And I had to switch it out of being a members only because everybody and their brother wanted to jump on with me. So it's like, all right, so I'm already on live. Just jump on with me. And I had to kill the members only. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you're at.
Yes, my good man. How the heavens are you?
Good and you.
It's your old pal Kenneth here.
What's up, man? How you doing? How happy are you with your team this week?
Oh, definitely. I'm very happy, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, I'm kind of excited to see how these new guys do. To be honest with you,
I'll tell you what. So I'm sitting at the draft, right? We're sitting in the stadium round 2. Now I already knew what you guys did in round 1, taking Rutledge, and I knew you were going to like that. Okay,
I definitely like that. That is a good pick.
Because as soon as I saw your guys pick at number 26, I'm like, I thought of you right away. I'm like, Kenneth's gonna like that one. And then
I absolutely love it.
And then when we traded, because that's who you wanted Rutledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think that was one of the names that was being talked about
Yeah, you told. Well, I think
in most drafts.
yeah, my last show before the draft, when it got to the Texans pick, you picked, and I'm almost positive you took Rutledge. I'm not.
Yeah, definitely.
But when we traded with you guys and we moved back to, and you guys took our 36, and I wasn't even thinking what you guys were looking at. I didn't think you guys were going to go Caden McDonald. I shouldn't say that. I wasn't expecting you guys to take him. And then when you guys took him, I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, well, Kenneth's going to be extremely happy now. I'm like, fuck.
I'm interested. Very interested. Hey, I don't know if you know. From what I'm hearing, the NFL schedule release is supposed to be going down the week after Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's the 13th. I'll be on live with the guys from the Raider Connection. We'll be on live for that as a like a reveal show.
From what I was hearing, it's supposed to be anywhere between the 12th and the 14th.
Yeah, it's the 13th. It's May 13th. It's a Wednesday night at 8:00.
You can confirm this,
yeah.
Or is this what you're hearing?
No, it's definite. That schedule came out. See, every year, like after the Super Bowl, they come out with the full NFL schedule for the next season, and that was already predetermined that that's the date. So they're probably still working on it now, because I remember watching a special a few years ago on Good Morning Football, and it takes that team that does the scheduling, takes them ridiculous amount of time to set that schedule up. Because think about it, they got to worry about concerts, they got to worry about other sports, because some teams share things, and it's just a nightmare. Case in point,
the LA Rams and their stadium.
Say that again.
Case in point, what about the LA Rams? Don't they share their stadium?
Yeah, they share with the Chargers, and then that's kind of easy to do, because they'll just schedule one team on the road and one team plays at home. Just like the Jets and the Giants, they've been sharing a stadium in Jersey for freaking decades, so that hasn't been an issue. I mean, that's usually fairly easy to fix. That's not a major problem. It was more of a problem with the Raiders when we were still in Oakland, because we shared a baseball stadium. We shared our stadium
with the then Oakland A's.
Yep, and if they make the playoffs, then that kind of screws things up there too. So if they were ever in the playoffs when we were still in Oakland, the downside was that the dirt was out there along the infield would still be, because we were the only team that had to play on dirt and grass.
Wow.
During the start of the regular season, because baseball season is still going on. So you had the dirt infield. So you would be running from grass, and all of a sudden you're in dirt, And then if they make the playoffs, now it gets extended, so they don't get the grass down until, almost halfway through the season at that point. Like on the years where they were back in the 70s and 80s, when they were in the playoffs deep or in the World Series, it was going up until October, where they were still playing a playoff game, and they, we're trying to play our regular season games, and we still got the dirt out there. The grass still can't get put down.
And I have an idea that I want to run by you. You said you wanted to do like a schedule release that Wednesday, right? The 13th?
Yeah.
I was thinking, in case some fans don't get a chance to see that show on the 13th, like you're planning,
mm-hmm.
I was thinking, why not do another schedule release show that Friday?
Well, on that Friday night, I definitely will be covering the schedule, because we'll definitely go through that on Friday night that week on this show.
I apologize. I didn't.
Yeah,
I did not know.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't plan that far out, but I had already I knew I was going to definitely do. So that show will be strictly just talking about the schedule. What games each fan is looking forward to. For their respective teams.
To be absolutely honest with you, one of the games that I would think would be most important to me is probably my Texans, I believe, against Dallas.
Are you guys playing them in their stadium or yours?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to double check.
Yeah, I don't have the full schedule up in front of me. We all know the home and away opponents. It's just we don't know the dates yet.
Yeah.
What's up, Devin?
Now,
oh, my guy.
Now, I have to say, of course, outside of the traditional divisional games, I can't. I guess I don't have to play y'all.
No, we're not playing you guys this year.
Thank heavens, because
well, you guys beat us last year.
Because y'all, I know we beat y'all, but y'all gave us one heck of a battle.
Yeah, we did.
That game.
That's a definite. We definitely.
That's just to show you
that game.
Y'all were tough.
Yeah, we showed up for
Even
that
though
game.
we
I don't
beat
know
y'all?
where we were for the Philadelphia game, but we showed up for that one. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my screen. It's all dusty.
And y'all definitely have to give my team some credit.
Oh no, you guys! I'll tell you what, your defense. That's why I was shocked that we did so well, because your defense was lights out last year, and the fact that we were able to do what we did just blew my mind. I'm like, this is ridiculous. How is this the same team that I just saw in Philadelphia a week or two before that, and now I'm watching them on this game against Houston, and they're pretty much beating them, and then we lost it at the end. So, the true rate of fashion. Went all the way through.
Yeah.
Get to the end and we blow it.
Yeah. Anyways, my man, I wanted to make sure I called in.
Oh, I appreciate you calling in. I'm glad you're happy with the draft your team had. And like I said, I was thinking of you while I was out there in Pittsburgh. As soon as you guys took him, you guys took McDonald, I'm like, God damn it! And then I'm like, Kenneth will be happy. Good for him. So
anyway, my man, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later, brother. You have a good night. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
What's up, Devin? All right, so Rada has not had a seizure in 2 weeks. Jasmine's hip is fully recovered, and I'm back to work full time. Everyone in the chat, salute you for the support this last year. Oh, that's so awesome, man. I'm so glad that's all great news, man. 100%. I'm glad both kids are doing well. I'm glad you're finally back to work again. I know it has been easy on you guys, and I just it sucks. I get it. Let me see here. Hang on a second. I think I might still. Hang on. I want to just see if I have this. Just give me 1 second, folks. I want to look for something here real quick. See if I still have this up. I don't think I do. Shit. I was just gonna put your Venmo back up there. I don't have it. Thought I still had it in here saved. I must have deleted it. We might have deleted that studio, I think. What's up, Willie Wayne? I see you in here, brother. Sacktown Mike is finally in the house. What's up, my guy? Love you, brother. How you doing? You doing good? You okay? So I want to hear from you guys. Give me some grades in the chat from your Randy. If you're here, let me know how your Broncos did with their lack of first, second, third, fifth, eighth, ninth, and 20th round. I mean, Jesus Christ, did you guys even draft this year? What the fuck happened to the Broncos, man? You guys really wanted Waddle that bad, huh? Oof. And hey, Randy, how's Bo Nix's ankle looking? Those pictures don't look too hot, brother. They don't look too good. The ankle looks like it's been chewed up through a freaking a wood chipper and spit back out, man. That does not look good. I don't know what the hell you guys are gonna do if he's not ready to go. I don't know what the latest talk is there in Denver about him or what, but good Lord. Hey, just think, if he would have played, you guys would have been in the Super Bowl. You probably would have, not that you would have won, but I think you would have put a better game up than the Patriots. I love how the Patriots drafted in the first round. They go and take another. They grab another tackle. That just tells me that they fucked up last year on the tackle they took. Just the short arms. Yeah, they take Caleb Lomo with the 28th pick, offensive tackle. And last year, they took a tackle in the first round. Oh, just the T-Rex arms. James, this is an NFL show. It's not a Raiders channel. Remember that. On Friday nights, we talk NFL talk, not strictly Raiders. So fans are welcome of all 32 NFL teams. Can't have you guys scaring people away. Bueno, don't tell me how to wear my hat. No, shush. Welcome in, brother. Dude, I never used, in all honesty, until I started doing this YouTube stuff, I never wore baseball hats. Never wore baseball hats. Ever. Well, not ever, but no. I was never a baseball hat guy. I never was. Oh, I hardly ever wore hats, period. The only hat I would wear would be a beanie, and that would be during the winter. That was about it. At least my refrigerator doesn't control my life, Bueno. Remember that. Smart ass. So, Bueno, you really wanted me to go back on live last night, huh? I couldn't. I know. I just couldn't last night after that. I was tired. I wasn't even expecting to be on that show that long. He said he was only going to stay until 10:30. We didn't get off till like 11 o'clock. I know, that's why I said there are 31 other teams and then there's the Raiders. It's true, but you know, kind of getting back to the whole draft thing. That was, I mean, obviously I went out there for the draft itself and everything, but that was one of my big goals when I was out there, was to interact with fans of, you know, all the teams in the NFL. You know, reach out to these other fan bases and to try and get them to, you know, hook into them to jump in this channel, you know, jump on my, you know, come on the channel, be in the chat on Friday nights, you know, call in, talk about their team, talk about what's going on. And I know mostly in here are Raider fans, but this is how I look at this. Now, yes, we're Raider fans. Majority in here are Raider fans. But this is, the good thing about this channel, or this show specifically on Friday nights, is we're not just sitting here bashing and talking out Raiders talk. We're talking NFL stuff. Yeah, it does tend to turn more Raiders at some point, especially towards the tail end of the show. But it gives you guys a chance to, I mean, I don't know how, oh shit, it's going to happen. Hang on. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
This is Mr. Marcus Banks, and I represent Tennessee Titans.
Mr. Banks, what is going on, brother? I love having you call in, man. What's going on, man? How you been?
What'd you say, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what'd you say, brother?
I said, how you been? I love having you in here. What's going on?
I'm all right, bro. I was just coming in to let you know, man. You know, I watched the draft. I only watched the first 3 rounds, and then I was cooked out. So I'm not gonna get up here and lie to Raider Nation, not gonna lie to him, to the Tennessee Titans fans, people. I watched the first 3 rounds and I was done.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I did. I mean, I had, you know, day 3 that Saturday. I didn't catch up on anything we did until we got back to the hotel that night, and I was just looking through. I'm like, okay, I like that. Yep. That was about it. I didn't, you know what it was? Because of everything that was going on, when you're at home watching it, first of all, if I was home, I'd be right here in front of my computer being on a live show doing it, and I'd be able to track and do so much more. When you're there, you're just taking in the whole atmosphere and everything. Like, I wasn't on my phone looking at the draft picks and none of that shit. You know, it wasn't until each night when we finally got back that I would look and see. But even then, it didn't really fully sink in until we got home. You know, and not even Sunday night. It didn't really sink in until like midday Tuesday. when I was finally down off that high of being away all weekend, and while I was getting kind of ready for Tuesday night show, I started really looking into a little bit more about each player. Prior to that, I really didn't have a clue. Half the guys we drafted, like who they were, basically.
I want to be honest with you, Jeff. I appreciate you saying that. It lets me open up to say that's the same thing with me. This year, I didn't really follow college this much this year, so I didn't know anybody really that was coming out, except for the few players that did. Mendoza, Tate, and a few other guys that came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's good. That's good pickings. And I'm glad we got Tate. We knew that.
I think that's a great pick for you guys.
So bad. So everybody got who they're supposed to get. And this wasn't a bad draft, but I agree with what you said last week and a couple of guys. This wasn't a star-studded draft. These are your worker bee guys you built. When the stars come out, these are the guys you put around them to make them better. That's what kind of draft this was, and I think that's what made the draft a little long for me. But if you were probably at home on, like you said, doing it live, I probably would have watched a little bit more like I did the first year with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun show last year. I will say I did miss not going live during the draft, like sitting here. And I know I made the statement that, I was going to go live as much as I could while there. Let me tell you, I went live for our first pick, and then
that was it. Yeah.
Everything that was leading up to it after that, I couldn't, because the noise level, the video quality wasn't the best. And that was just because there's so many people there on their phones doing the same damn thing. Everybody's just beating the shit out of the cell towers. That, and I felt miserable. Like I got so hot. I was exhausted. My body was aching. And the last thing I was thinking of was standing there with because I had to hold my phone. I couldn't bring my tripod or my selfie stick in there. They wouldn't let you. So the whole time I'd have to stand there and hold my phone like this, up above my head so I can see things. And there's some times during the live when I was live, I gave the phone to my wife and she's holding the phone up and video, because I just needed to give my arm a break because I'm standing there for a few minutes holding my arm straight up. It's like, fuck.
Well, I'll keep it honest. Even you both are both big guys. We need a break.
Yeah.
So that becomes time. And then, like you said, you're at an event where there's a lot going on. So you're trying to see as much as you can. You're trying to get as comfortable as you can, and you want to be able to hear everything and enjoy everything. So it's a lot going on. Then you're driving, like you said, you didn't get a chance to get to the hotel near the event, so you're further out another hour or so from the event, and then you go into the Hall of Fame. It's just a lot, man. So, but you did good, Jeff. Though, man, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had a blast. I'll tell you right now. On Saturday night, Friday, whatever night it was. Saturday night actually. Because I brought my laptop with me. What I'm on right now is my laptop. I brought this with me, so I had it set up in the room because my goal was every night when we got back was just to unload my pictures from my phone and put them in the computer. But by the time we came back, I was just like, I don't feel like doing that. So Saturday night, I closed it all up, brought it down into the front lobby, sat down in a nice comfy chair there. And
absolutely.
I transferred 600 photos on Saturday night over to my laptop. And luckily I brought my external hard drive, which is like a 4 terabyte or 5 terabyte hard drive.
Oh man, yeah. Oh wow.
I threw all those photos and videos in there. By the time I got home and loaded everything into it, I put over 1,000 videos and photos into that external hard drive. That's how many pictures I took. I was constantly taking pictures. I was doing a lot of videos, but I wasn't able to upload a ton of stuff while I was there. I tried my best. I went live. I think it was the Thursday night. Anthony and I went live. I went live Friday night for a little bit. And then I went live during our pick. So I felt bad that I wasn't able to do what I said I was going to do.
That's all right. You got what you could
get done. I was so uncomfortable. So much
fun. You got done what you could get done. And a quick question: the Hall of Fame. Now that was in Pittsburgh, correct?
No, it's actually in Canton, Ohio. It's over the border.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's around Akron, Dayton, Canton. It's just south of Cleveland.
So I want to say this, man. I saw when you put up the short, when the show got started, before the show got started, I had put something on there, man. Yes, so when you got on the show and you mentioned that, yes, the atmosphere in that must have been something serious. For me, it would have been, I already know, just being a softie I am, I would have probably started crying the moment I got in there like a big punk. Because it's football, man.
And that's kind of what happened to me. That's why it hit me hard. When I walked in, not so much the other part, it's when I got into the area where the buses were, because it's like you're looking at all these buses up there, and so many of them aren't even here anymore. They're all passed away. And then so many of the Raider greats that are in there are already gone now too. And it just hits you because you'd have to see it in order to fully understand it if you're not.
I'm agree with you, and I'm gonna say this: you have to be about football, know about football, and you played football. We watch football, man. Every Saturday morning we used to get up and play football. After church, you wanted to play football, but your parents got mad at you because they don't want you to make good cues. So you know what I'm saying? So we've done that. If you're about football and you watch football, it's definitely an emotional thing.
Oh yeah. I consider myself to be a football, not historian, but I just appreciate the game so much. I don't know the ins and outs of it like some guys that, look and, I know what cuff two is and all that, all that crap. I look at it from the standpoint of the guys that paved the way to get us to where we are now. The guys that took the severe bumps and bruises that are in the Hall of Fame, that paid that price and did damage to their bodies so bad, that got us to the point where they're trying to make it a safer game now and everything. And I get that, us being Raider fans, us Raider fans, we always want that. To
the old days, man.
And that's what you want. But when you sit back and look at it, it's like you really don't want that because your guys that you really like watching play, they're going to get their careers cut short.
True. Well,
and then your team suffers, and then you suffer because you're miserable because he's not playing anymore, and your team sucks now.
Yeah, true. But also, let me just say this too, Jeff. Also, the guy, and this is I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm being honestly real here. These guys aren't built the way we're built, Jeff.
Oh hell no.
We're built different. They get a pinky toe, they really do hurt. It's like, wait a minute, we got guys that broken fingers, broken toes, broken ribs, still get out there and play. Like Emmitt Smith, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but Emmitt Smith played with a broken foot for like 6, 7, 8 weeks, and he still ran for 100-something yards every game.
I'm going to tell you something, and I don't think I've ever said this on any of my shows. When I played semi-pro ball, right, the year before, I slipped at a house fire, and I thought I just twisted my knee. I didn't know until after I played a full season after I hurt my knee.
I believe you.
I played a full 10-game semi-pro season. Now, we started in July, and we played through the summer. Our season ended in like August, September.
Okay.
We were going to play like a round-robin fundraiser type game. It was going to be the last game of the season for us. And we were warming up, and I was doing jumping jacks. And I came down with my right leg in such a way that my knee just gave out, and I just dropped. And I looked at our coach and said, "You got to get someone else to play center. I'm not playing. I can't. There's no way I can play. I'm in so much pain right now." I had actually played a full season, and my knee would give out on me throughout the season. I never realized. I had a brace on, but it wasn't that great. I had no ACL on my right knee. I played the entire season with no ACL as a center.
I believe you.
I can't tell you how many times my knee would buckle on me, and I just thought nothing of it.
And we just kept playing through it. But these guys, they aren't built like us, so they're trying to make it more safe. But to me, making it more safe than you already are, making it also a little bit boring, a little bit too. Just a little bit, not much. The game is still good. It's just I wish we had tougher guys playing nowadays. Some of these guys are tough, but some of these guys are not tough at all. And then they get hurt now they want to renegotiate the contract. I want $150 million, but you get out there in the first play, you break your ankle, now you got nothing. Come on, man. Come on. And the teams are still on the hook for $100 million of that. It's like, come on, dog. And then now our team can't bounce back for 5 years. Now we got to wait 5 years because we got to pay you for the next 5 years so we can pick up a better player. Come on, that hurts. That hurts the team, hurts the fans too.
Oh man.
But I'm not gonna hold you up, Jeff. I apologize for being on here longer than
No problem, man. Not a problem, man. Not at all.
I think Tennessee Titans did great. Our greatest pick was our first round pick.
I'm happy for you. I really am. It just like I was saying to Kenneth, I was thinking of him during the draft, and I was obviously, I mean, all the Raiders, I know where they're all thinking. But then when I saw what you guys were doing, I thought of you right away because, again, you're two of the guys that are in my chat all the time, you know, that aren't Raider fans. So it's like I think you guys right away when something happens to your team. So as soon as you guys got Tatum, I was like, wow, that's a damn good pick for you guys. And I think we even said it collectively, like myself, 805, and them when we were there too, because we were still there for that part in the first round. I said that's a good pick for them. Cam Ward, I'm sure is happy as shit. That's for sure.
Oh yes, sir. But I also want to say you look good in that picture, man, with 805 and Chris and Severe, man. And hello to those guys too, man. You know, much respect to those guys too, man.
I look like a monster in that thing. Oh.
Hey, listen, me and you both. You on that side, me on the other side. We look the same. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But
hey, someday, brother, we'll meet in person for sure, man. I look forward to that at some point.
Well, you know, I'm in Pennsylvania, bro.
Whereabouts?
I'm in Athens, Pennsylvania.
How far is that from Pittsburgh?
Well, Pittsburgh is all in the west, so I would say we're about 5 hours.
So what are you, like, closer to Philly?
No, I'm closer to New York. Matter of fact, I can spit on the New York border. I'm like 10, 15 away from New York.
Yeah. Oh shit! I probably drove right through you. Right through where you are then.
Yeah, you did. I'm pretty sure you did.
I think we came across. We were on 84 on the way home.
Okay, you had to come through. You had to come through 80, 81, 82.
Yeah, we went over the Tappan Sea. That's how we went. We went back that way.
Okay. Well, if Binghamton was on your map or Elmira, you're gonna see Binghamton, Elmira. I'm right in between there.
Oh shit!
Right in between, dead drop dead, right there.
Fuck! If I would have known that.
Yeah. But that's for the next time, brother. We're gonna get together, man.
Definitely.
Hey, Raider Nation, you guys take care. I appreciate
Thanks, brother. Thank you for calling in, man. I love it when you call in.
Brother. You take care and have a wonderful night, everybody.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. I'm going to put that as the last phone call for the night because we're already over the 2-hour mark. Let me just catch up with the chat. But no, I've been here. I was one of the first ones in, but I fell asleep. I woke up. So then you weren't here, so I don't want to hear it. Don't sit there and tell me you were here. You weren't. Yeah, Marcus is awesome, man. I love it when Marcus calls in, man. I appreciate you, Marcus. Let's see. Yeah, he's definitely happy. You could hear that for sure. What's up, Roy? What's going on, my guy? Let's see. A lot of people think this draft was weak in talent, but I have a feeling this draft might have some of the best players coming into the league. I don't think it was necessarily weak. I think the better and more serviceable players were from like round 2 on. Like, I think round 2 through 4, possibly even up to the 5, was like the meat and potatoes of this draft. So I think that's where your value based on your pick was a lot higher. Like even Zoom going where he went, he probably shouldn't have even been there, to be honest with you. Let's see, to be ready, your name's more badass now that we picked up the Tokyo Go. Ronnie Lott chose to chop tip of it. Yeah, exactly, right? What's up, Alan? What's going on, man? I'm wondering how now with all the worry on concussions and CTE, when our box is going to be required to wear headgear because that will be, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that. Good night, Devin. Thanks for being here. Now, I know I'm a little behind on the chat. I'm sorry, guys. G-Fam, what's up, G-Fam? What's going on? Yeah, Marcus, that was a great call, man. Thanks for calling in, Marcus. I appreciate you, my guy. If I would have known I was that close to you on the way home, man, I would have. Damn it. Literally pretty much drove right through your area. I'm almost positive that's exactly where we were, too. I'll get to look this up real quick. Let me see where you are. I know on the way out, we drove through Fishkill. New York, we came in that way. Let me see. Yeah, because we came through the Poconos on the way to Pittsburgh. We went through the Poconos. On the way back, we came 80, I think it was. I think we went 80 on the way back. Yeah, because that took us across the Tappan Zee that way. So we were when we drove out there, we came straight across the middle of Connecticut. We came Route 6 all the way through. We drove right through the middle of Hartford, and we came down to 84. So we went through Danbury, into Pennsylvania, New York that way. So we came in, basically we drove through Scranton too. So we went right through all that area. So I bet we weren't that far off then. Let's see. Teams drafted like this draft was weaker. Yeah, it did seem a little off. Like I think there was some reaches, but I don't know. Bueno's turned the call. No, I turned it down. I turned it off already. Phone lines are shut down. What's up, Dante? Hey, Dante, man, it was awesome meeting you the other last week, man. That was cool. I just wish we had more chance to really talk. I was trying to hope to make it to that restaurant before you guys got out of there, but took a little bit longer at the hall than we thought it would. But hey, I only got one chance to go to the Hall of Fame. I was kind of soaking it all in, so it was cool. Just scroll through that Bo Nix picture was. Oh, that's not the really one. That's a fake one. Can we just say it's real? Just because it's the Broncos and Randy's in here and he's a Broncos fan, just tell him that his quarterback's ankle's all fucked up. Looks like he got chewed up. Let's just go with that. It's not even I mean, the ankle looks swollen. If that's really him or not, I don't know now. Jeff Harbaugh show tonight. You're the heck. Shut up, Bobo. Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, after this past week, the wife and I are already planning on going to D.C. next year for the draft next year. That one will be easy to get around. Because supposedly it's going to be right on the National Mall. And if we get a hotel soon enough, we'll be able to stay closer this time and not be 30, 45 minutes out from the city. Yeah, just let it be real. We need anything we can have happen to the Broncos. I mean, they already didn't have a pick until like the 23rd round anyway. I mean, shit. They gave up their entire draft this year and half their draft next year to get Waddle. So, fuck the Broncos. No, tonight's show has been great, brother. Seriously, good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, Rafa? What's going on? So we're gonna call it a night. Make sure everybody, before you bail out of here, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subbed already, make sure you sub. Hit the notifications too. So what's going on coming up soon? I'm going to fill everybody in what's going on with all the shows that we do. So this show's not going anywhere. This show's going to keep going on Friday nights. It's my solo NFL talk show. Saturday nights, Jason and I are still going to continue with Radio Nation Voices. That show's going awesome, so that's not going anywhere. But we're taking a hiatus on a few shows that we do during the week. So I don't know how much everybody's been paying attention this past week. But on Tuesday nights, Most Notorious, we're going to take a break for a while on that one. So this past Tuesday that we just did was our last show that we're going to do at least until June. So we're pretty much taking the month of May off. The Raider Connection, Wednesday nights. We are going to do a show on the 13th of May, the actual schedule release that night. We're not going to do a show next week. So when we do the show on May 13th, we're not going to come back until June also. As far as Nate and I haven't really talked about what we're going to do on Thursdays, but I am working on getting a special guest on Thursday. I haven't heard back from him yet today. I did reach out to him, and I did talk to him in person while we were in Pittsburgh. No, I didn't hear from him yet. But we're working on getting Brian Fowler on with us, All In Autumn Wind. I've been wanting to do it. I talked to him. I talked to him before before the Super Bowl, actually before the AFC and NFC championships, I had talked to him personally. I talked to him on the phone, and we were going to try and schedule something then. But with him going to the championship games, the Super Bowl, I told him, I said, let's get past the Super Bowl. Now let's get around the draft, and we'll reassess at that point. So we were going to try and do something months ago, but we just couldn't get the schedule to line up. And then when I saw him last week in Pittsburgh, he came right up to me. He goes, "I'm so sorry I didn't get back." I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "That's fine." I said, "I knew we had this coming up, and I was in full draft mode anyway as far as this trip." I said, "So after we get back from the draft, I'll reach out to you." So I reached out to him today. Hopefully I can hear from him tomorrow. But I'm going to be trying to set that up for next Thursday. So make sure you guys keep your notifications on. I will try and, once I know that he's a confirmed for next Thursday, I will put out a notification to let everybody know that it's going to be going on. So I will be on tomorrow night with Jason, Raiders First Downs, normal time. Even though I'm a Texas fan, I have much love and respect for my nation. Well, thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Tokyo. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks, Alex. Thank you, everybody. Everyone flood the phone line so Jeff won't end the line. I already shut it off, so you can call all you want. You can leave voicemails. Don't forget. That's the other thing. Don't forget, everybody. So the phone number is 401-830-9189. At any point that you want to leave a voicemail, we'll listen to it. Before we, when we start the live, that'll be the first thing we do is listen to any voicemails. So if you guys want to leave voicemails, go for it. Call during the week. Call whatever you want. It'll go right to voicemail, and then we'll listen to it together as a family. We'll sit here and listen to the phone calls, And when I shut the show down tonight, if you want to leave a voicemail for tomorrow night's show for myself and Jason, go ahead, call it after we're done. You can call it now, leave a voicemail, and we'll listen to it tomorrow. I won't pre-listen to it. I won't read any of it. If anybody sends a message, I won't do any of that. I'll save it for tomorrow night. We'll play it live. So whatever you say will get played. Remember that. So if you want to be funny, be funny. You want to be a dick, be a dick. If you want to be bueno, don't be bueno. Thanks for the great content, Jeff. Oh, you're welcome. Moval, what's going on, man? All right, so we are going to get out of here. So my little final thoughts, basically, remember, don't be a bueno, everybody. You know the old, this is your brain on drugs. So this is your brain, and this is your brain with bueno. All right, so let me just say this. After being there and feeling that atmosphere, after walking through the hall, I got to tell you this, though. This is kind of like my final thought here. The game is bigger than draft grades. The game is about legacy, and what I saw in the Hall of Fame, that screamed legacy to me. This is something that will live on well beyond the end of the world. That Hall of Fame will be there. These guys are immortal now. Everybody that's in that Hall of Fame. Some teams got better this past week. Some think they did. And some teams, we're just going to have to wait and find out, and they'll find out the hard way. So until next time, everybody, no timeouts, no excuses. This is No Huddle. Stay safe, and go Raiders. Have a wonderful night.